Welcome to Set Up for Success, the mini course where UK solopreneurs build solid foundations so they can spend less time on admin and more time on growth. So before we start off, just a quick reminder that this is educational content only. It doesn't substitute professional advice, and you should seek the advice of an accountant for your specific circumstances if you require more detailed information. But if you're ready to get a basic understanding and set up for success, then I highly recommend that you continue to watch this mini course series. In this part of the mini course, we are going to be discussing picking your business name. It's something that people don't discuss enough, but it has a huge impact on your business. So choosing your business name is both about branding, but also a legal decision. Now, we have heard of all of those cases where people have a company name and another company comes along or an individual comes along and they're like, oh, I'm sorry, why are you trading under that name? This name belongs to us. This is trademarked. Now, if you don't do the proper research, that could potentially happen to you. And imagine the damage to your brand that could have if that takes place. And also, it just holds you up from doing all of the things in your business that you need to do. So we're going to talk about what to do when picking your business name, registering that business name, and ensuring that you are minimizing as much as possible the potential for that to take place. So I have a couple of do's and don'ts. Before you select your business name, you need to list out a few potential names for your business. Now, you can do that by yourself. You can do it with ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, whichever AI tool you choose to use with it. And once you've done that, we need to start checking to see if this name is available, because this name becomes a part of your brand and your legal identity. So a few things to think about. Is the name available? Is it legal? Are you going to be a sole trader, or is it going to be a limited company? And the video before should definitely help you with that. So have a look at that first. And then have some trademark awareness. So once you've got your list of names, the next step is to see, is this name available? Now remember, you can either set up as a sole trader or as a limited company. So depending on which one you choose, you need to be aware of the rules for those. So let's start with limited companies, because this is where your name is actually quite important, because this is what you're going to trade under. So for limited companies, your name must be unique. It cannot be the same or too similar to an existing company, and it cannot use sensitive words. So sensitive words are things such as bank, such as charity, such as royal. You need to check the list. So what I'm going to do is include in the workbook where you can find the full list of restricted words. Once you've gone through that, you can double check to see if your list includes any of those words, and then you can remove them. Okay? It cannot be offensive. You can't include any swear words. You can't include anything that may be seen as offensive to a group of people, for example. So be very mindful. And actually, it's quite unethical anyway for you to be including those types of names in your company name. So it is very easy to check on Companies House to see availability. So first things first, what you're going to do is you're going to go over to the workbook, and the workbook is going to give you the link for you to be able to see the search, the register details. So you'll be able to click the link, and then you will come to this window, which is basically the company name availability checker. So we could put something in here, for example, put in a big UK brand, we'll type in Tesco. So for some reason you've decided you want to call your company Tesco Ltd. Now, what this will do is this will show you what Companies House considers to be the same as or similar to existing names. So you can see here we've got Tesco PLC, public limited company, and that means that you cannot use that name. That name has already been taken. So if, for example, we'll do another one, Smith and Co Limited. I don't know if this is anything similar, but we'll see. So here it's telling us, okay, these are considered to be the same as. So we've got Smith Limited, Smiths Limited, Smith UK Limited. So for example, if your name is Roxy Smith and you're like, okay, well, I want it to be Smith & Co, but I can't. So you're going to put Roxy Smith Limited. Now you can see, perfect. There are no exact company name matches and nothing considered to be similar. So what we're going to do here is click register a private limited company. And this is going to take us to the next stage in our company setup. So that's the first thing we would do when it comes to searching for a name. So as I mentioned, there is a restricted list of the names that you can include. So here you can see we've got association, we've got benevolent, we've got charitable, chartered accountant, etc. You'll be able to go through this entire list, and I will give you the link for that in the workbook. So if you want the workbook, please join my free community and you'll be able to get the workbook in there. As I mentioned at the beginning, we've all heard the stories of people setting up their companies, trading, and then someone saying, oh, hold on, your logo is the same as mine, or your logo looks similar and I've trademarked mine. And there being long legal battles to be able to decipher what should be done about this. So it's something that can be done using the link that I am going to give to you is for you to check out registered trademarks in the UK. Now, after you've checked is a name available, you may also want to check, is this name trademarked by a company that may not be registered in the UK, but may be trading in the UK with a similar name. It's just so that you have a basic awareness, and I would strongly recommend that you have a look at this. So you would click on the link that is in the workbook, and you can search for a trademark. You can search by trademark number, by owner, by keyword, phrase, or image. So for example, if you have a logo and you're like, I just want to double check that this logo isn't too similar, you could put it in here. If you have a name, for example, you could put it in here. This is all part of the step-by-step setup that gov.uk gives to you when you're setting up your limited company. And you will have the link in the workbook for you to be able to go through each of these steps if you choose to set up a limited company. So for sole traders, it's a little bit different. So when you're a sole trader and you're thinking about a name, you can just trade under your name. So for me, I could just trade under Rihanna Anger. On the invoices, it would just say Rihanna Anger, that's it. So you cannot use LTD or the word limited because you are not a private limited company, but you can just say Rihanna Anger. If it's consulting, Rihanna Anger Consulting, for example, as long as it's not a restricted word. You could also have your name, so Rihanna Anger, and then trading as RA Consulting Services. Just be mindful though that there isn't any other trademark name that is RA Consulting Services in this example, or that there isn't a company, a limited company that has a very similar name as well. But the key difference here is that there is actually no formal registration required with anybody. So we don't need to register the name with Companies House because we're not a company, and we don't need to register the name with HMRC in the way in which we would file our self-assessment forms. But what you do need to make sure is that you're not trading under a name that's too similar to another business or another company, because you can still end up in legal hot water. So for this reason, I would say maybe do things such as like a quick Google search, maybe have a look on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube for any handles that may be similar to what you're thinking about using. Also maybe look at just like .co.uk, see if there's anything under that name or .com, and then just see if their business or their services are very similar to yours, or if the name is similar. You want to mitigate it against as much consumer confusion as possible, because not only is it not good for the other brand, but it's not good for your brand as well. So let's just wrap that up quickly so we can make it abundantly clear so there's no confusion. For a sole trader, there is no formal name registration required with any public body. You can trade under your personal name, and it is slightly more flexible. With a limited company, it must be a unique name at Companies House. The legal name is fixed. There is no flexibility, and it is more regulated. So a couple things for you to think about when you are choosing your business name. Do a Companies House search for both instances, whether you're a sole trader or you're a limited company. Do a quick trademark search. Make sure that you don't have similar logos or names, etc. Can save you a lot of time and hassle potentially in the future. Do a quick Google search. Social media, and in this day and age, you need to be using social media. So make sure that the domain is available. Do a quick domain search as well. Make sure you're not using any restricted words. Don't be using anything offensive. And that's basically my little quick checklist. So if you do those things, you're going to potentially save yourself a lot of time in the future. Mitigate against potential legal battles. And you've done the work beforehand to think about your business branding. It will all be worth it. So the next step is we've decided on our structure. We know what we're going to call it. So where and how do we register? So the next video is me showing you